both. Your support of Redeemer Radio helps us find new ways to provide authentically Catholic content to those who are lost or searching. Call or text GIVE to the Holy Cross College text line at 260-436-9598 or donate online at redeemerradio.com. This is Redeemer Radio Sharathon. Thank you for listening to and supporting your local Catholic radio station.
Thank you. Good morning. We're here at Redeemer Radio Sharathon. I'm Diana Parent, your host for this hour, and we're so excited to have St. Patrick Arcola here with us. But as we wrapped up the Tittman Hour last hour, again, thanks for the Tittman family for all their generosity. There's a few more people I want to thank, and I know that we probably didn't get a chance to thank everyone, but please know that your gifts are appreciated. Kevin Booker, Mike and Teresa Lay, Kevin Kristen Bauer, thank you so much for your donations, and so many of those others that we didn't get to thank personally. But so excited to talk with St. Patrick Arcola and that beautiful historic parish there on the west side of Allen County. We appreciate it. We have Father Tad with us today, Roberta Davis, and Jim Batone, and I really appreciate them coming today and volunteering their time. And we hope that all of our parishioners at St. Pat's on this very special Feast of St. Patrick are listening. It's their day. It's their hour. We couldn't line this up any better for Redeemer Radio this next hour. So welcome, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Father Tad, tell us what we need to know about all the good things going on at St. Pat's.
Well, there is faith, and people are happy. Despite what we have gone through, with COVID, we see faith beginning again to grow, people coming to church. Even during COVID, people, continue to yearn. And I consider that time, I compare it with the time how the matters of Uganda, where I came from, how it all started. The king that time was persecuting Christians, the young Christians, and then the priests escaped. Such that at that time there was no mass, no sacraments. The priests had run away from Uganda, but the faith grew so much that's when even we got people to witness to Christ by giving their lives, by being killed as martyrs. So it's like now, during the time of COVID, it's like, that is when people grew more in faith. And I see that very much these days in all our worship times.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So beautiful. So your parish is so beautiful. It's just like a lot of small communities. The thing that still stands is the church, the founding of the community. And there is that beautiful St. Patrick's in Arcola. And if you haven't been there, you need to go. It is just a beautiful little parish, and little by size, but big in power. Such a wonderful place. But Roberta, tell us a little bit about your involvement with the parish.
I've been the director of religious education for 20 years on and off. I've had a couple of years free, but then I came back. But basically, a lot of my time is spent with youth. So we have presently, we've done a little bit. We have 48 families in our program with 103 students this year.
Oh my goodness,
in the
that's
program.
huge.
And every Sunday between masses, the kids come, the parents come. We enjoy spending time with them and helping the parents educate their children about their Catholic faith. And we do have a wonderful turnout. And even during the COVID, everybody's like, we want to come back, So it was just a different environment this past 2 years. But it's come back. And it's wonderful. So we spend a lot of time with them, and we have activities with our kids and stuff, and our wonderful other programs, which Jim will talk about with the Knights, and even our Rosary Society, and the fish fry and things that they sponsor, which we'll talk about. It all helps each other because they sponsor our youth. And we'll talk about Steubenville because we got some kids that they're sending
no
there.
doubt those youth take all those wonderful things you're teaching them and take them back home to their parents as well. And,
Yes.
the Catholic faith is all about continuing education and being aligned and religion our faith, and then sometimes converting adults. I'm a convert, so kids have a special way of converting adults' hearts, and your work is so powerful.
They do, and the kids do go home and will say, "Don't forget to remind your parents about this," and they can look it up, and you guys can learn more about this together. And the kids are like, "Okay," and they do, because
I know my kids love to find things that they know that I don't know about, so
exactly.
I'm sure they love those morsels too. So.
They do.
So we're here to support Redeemer Radio in honor of St. Patrick Arcola today. And if you would give, you just simply text or call 436-9598. Of course, that's 260 for those listeners that are outside Northeast Indiana, which we have a lot all over the country and in Michigan. So 260-436-9598. Or you can go to redeemerradio.com and hit the gold Give Now button. But would you tell us, Jim, a little bit about your involvement in the parish?
It actually began shortly after I joined the parish in 2003. Father Cyril, I guess I was spending too much time around the church, and he asked me to help with the CCD program, and I did that for like 3 years, and then I seemed to be, like I said, hanging around the parish, and anytime anything needed to be done, Gus, who was our main maintenance man, always looked to me for some help. And then Father Cyril said, "Jim, you need to work full time." So for about 8 years, I worked maintenance with Gus. And after that, we started the Knights of Columbus. I was the financial secretary, Grand Knight, for a couple of years. And so it's been a joy. I mean, and I just love the parish because it's just a small little, as you related to earlier, it's just a small little church, but it's got a lot of power. And it's nice to see it coming back to life. We've got some activities that are, coming up. We've had fish fry a week ago, and there'll be another one coming up here shortly. We have a St. Patrick's
March 25th, Friday night.
March 25th. We have our St. Patrick's party coming up. And we'll talk about the bike blessing, but we're just coming back to life, and it's good to see everybody coming back to the church. People are looking forward to coming through and getting back together again. So
I agree.
It's a good thing.
It's so interesting the different ways I think parishes, especially in a community like Arcola, like the reach of the Catholic Church is so beyond your parishioners. I mean, you are the heartbeat of the community out there, and you talk about the fish fry. I mean, you have a drive-through fish fryer, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to see a stat on how many people are not parishioners that come there every Lent in the shadow of the cross of Arcola to participate in the fish fry. I think your reach is probably far bigger than you think.
Yeah.
What was it, 1,500 pounds we went through at the drive-through last
people
one?
are amazed when they hear that. And we're going to do another 1,500 pounds at the next fish fry. So that's 3,000 pounds of fish, and it goes very quick.
Yeah,
okay, very quick.
Right.
So, but we've got it down to a science. I mean,
yeah, you do.
We to put that much fish through in a 3-hour period, sometimes even less than that.
You guys are doing drive-through long before COVID.
Yes. Well, we always added the drive-through with the sit-down, but right now we're just doing the drive-through. Hopefully next year we'll get back to sitting down inside together. But if you enjoy St. Pat's fish, why don't you call in and donate on our hour, 260-436-9598. And don't forget, a lot of people are just doing it online. They aren't calling. They're going online to redeemerradio.com.
And we're so lucky, but for every 15 pledges a day, there's a bonus that this hour gets for $250 extra for every 15 people that donate in.
Okay, we need that. Come on, guys.
We do. And we already have a few pledges coming in. I want to thank Don and Roberta Davis, Rebecca Van Allen. Thank you for being one of our very first. And I also want to thank our Knights of Columbus Council, 13971. As always, those Knights of Columbus come in. They're supporting the St. Patrick's Arcola Hour. I really appreciate their work. I mean, the Knights of Columbus are always our go-to steady pillars of every parish.
I agree. We're a small parish, but I don't think there's too many parishes that have 25% of the men involved with the Knights of Columbus.
So 25%. Let's think about that for a second. That's a lot of men that could be calling in or texting at 436-9598.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see
Okay,
how many
we've
nights
already got my husband
we
in
get
there,
to text
so.
in right now. We'll keep track. I think it'd be great.
And it doesn't have to be St. Patrick's nights.
No, that's
no.
right.
No.
Let's
No,
call in
it
all the
doesn't
nights.
just be a night.
Yeah, be sure to identify yourself as a night. We want to make sure that we give you
Sure.
guys credit.
Or
So-
a friend of the night.
Or friends of the night. There you go. Or the friends of the Rosary Society. The Rosary Society
Friends of
just
St.
also
Pat's.
gave.
Let's go. It's St. Patty's Day. You got to give for St. Patty's Day. Come on.
That's right. Today's a big day. You know, we have the Sharathon going on. We have St. Patrick's Day and all it's worth. We have March Madness. We got a lot of reasons to give today.
A lot of reasons to celebrate, so let's get out there.
That's
Let's get
right.
that
That's
done.
right. So we have a goal for every 15 pledges. We get an extra $250 donation match in honor of St. Patrick's on St. Patrick's Day. So let's get the phones, continue to get the phones ringing because they are starting to come in. Father, tell us a little bit about St. Patrick. I mean, this is your parish. This is a big day for your parish.
Thank you. I wish I had a green clerical shirt. I would have put on that today. But at Mass, I had to break the law. You know, we are in Lent and we are wearing purple. Yeah. But this morning, you know, as I was passing Jim, he didn't mention he's the sacristan, by the way. So I told him I'm excited. I'm going to dress in green chasuble. St. Patrick's life is very interesting. And I'm happy that he's the patron saint of our church. You know, as you know, he was from Britain, and then he was taken to Ireland as a young boy, as a slave. And you know what slavery is, yes. And so with all the suffering, like imagine the suffering the people of Ukraine are going through now, the pain and all that. But, you know, God is so great. This young boy did not hate himself. Instead, he loved God. And he saw this like it was God planned. And after 6 years, he escaped. Somehow he escaped and went back home. But when he went back home, then the memories of the time of slavery built into a more love of God and a more love for the people of Ireland where he had been enslaved. And so he became priest. He became bishop. And his heart again went back. And thus I ended up being the missionary to Ireland. Today, you know, I remember the people of Ukraine who are suffering. We know they are suffering in many ways. Mm-hmm. And then we wonder, what does this mean? Isn't the life of St. Patrick a little similar to that? And I think what will probably come out of this is the people of Ukraine will see God more, will see Jesus present to them more, and wouldn't be surprised to see that the faith in Ukraine, after all this turmoil, will be better. And St. Patrick worked hard to build the structure of the church, to evangelize and all that. So that's how interesting his life is, that in difficulties, something good comes. And that is for every one of us. You know, we pass through challenges and difficulties, but what do we gain from there? Not to bow just our heads and say, I'm suffering, I've suffered, my past was bad, but to see how Christ's hand can lead us to a better way of responding to life's demands and the call of God. And that's St. Patrick.
Wow. I mean, how... I wish every parish priest had the opportunity to have a radio microphone and available to them on the birthday or the celebration day of their pastoral saint. So what a privilege! But we're about a quarter of the way through our hour here, and we've got some pledges in, and we're right on schedule, about a quarter of the way to our total goal today for raising money for Redeemer Radio for the Sharathon here in honor of St. Patrick's Arcola. Keep those gifts coming in. We want to get more pledges coming in so we can get those matches. For every 15 pledges we get in, we get a bonus match for $250. So go to Redeemer.com and hit the giant gold Give Now button, or you could text or call GIVE to 260-436-9598. But we want to continue to thank all those people that are giving, and as your names are given, we'd like to give you a call out. And we also, if you want to be anonymous, that's right too. But, your parish has some unique connections to Redeemer Radio, and one of the success stories locally of Redeemer Radio is the show Dr. Doctor. They're just actually started here in Fort Wayne and is now a nationally syndicated program. One of the two founding doctors are from your parish. Does one of you want to speak to that?
Well, Dr. Thomas McGovern, of course, is from St. Pat's, and often he brings on Dr. Eustace Fernandez to speak on different topics on the program too. But yeah, I enjoy that program a lot. It's amazing what you can learn, and then you can go back when you don't hear something and listen to them by going through Redeemer Radio's website and finding old podcasts, things that they've done in the past. But yes, we are blessed to have them in our parish. They are both very active in our parish and very much a part of our parish.
In fact, Dr. Tom and Dr. Fernandez, they are all lectors at Mass.
Okay.
Then Dr. McGovern is also a Eucharistic minister. And then he has the two little ones, the twins, Thomas and Stephen, who serve the Mass. So these people, and Dr. Fernandez teaches CCD.
Yes, our high school
very
program. He's wonderful.
These are really deep into the parish, and we are happy that they are like our ambassadors at Redeemer Radio. And
well, I'm honored to be able to call Sally McGovern a good personal friend. And
she's wonderful, too.
All good families are rooted in maternal strength, and I think that's definitely true of the McGovern family, and I'm sure a lot of families that are in St. Pat's Arcola. But so that's a really interesting thing to think that that program has been picked up nationally. And that's a pretty amazing thing. And you mentioned podcasts. Redeemer Radio has been sponsoring and really moving into the next generation of listenership, and producing more and more podcasts that are available at all times. And a lot of the monies we're raising today is going to continuing that ministry of evangelical and all kinds of different ages of listeners for Redeemer Radio. So, but a couple quick things I want to share. It's about $150 an hour to keep Redeemer Radio on live every hour of every day, 24/7. That 24/7 is pretty important because you never know when the Holy Spirit needs to speak to somebody. Redeemer Radio is always there, and their podcasts are always there. So for every person that sponsors an hour, $150, we're going to send you a Share the Good T-shirt so you can wear proudly, so that we know that you're one of the wonderful listeners, and they are going to be seen around town. So.
Well, and that $400 pledge, that's a day sponsorship. They get so many.
Absolutely.
I know there's different groups now. They have the 400, or if you give larger amounts, you get more messages online.
That's right. So for every $400 you give, you get 6 messages online of your choice, or whatever you'd like to promote. $700 gift is a 12-message sponsorship, and $1,000 sponsors 18 messages of your choice every day. So, I mean, that's wonderful ways to support radio, but also we honor you as giving as well.
And I see our Rosary Society, of course, made a check available to Redeemer Radio. We've got 4 pledges in there just of $620. So come on, people. We need some more pledges so we can get our matching gift. So we're not there yet. We're not close. We need a lot of people to call in or get online to redeemerradio.com. I've never used the Redeemer Radio app and doing the pledges, but they say that's really simple too if you have the app.
The app is great. So I travel occasionally. It's great because you can see what's coming up at different programs. And it's amazing just to take some time to scroll through that, like what all is offered by Redeemer Radio. I forget how many things are actually connected to Redeemer Radio. It's pretty amazing, really. So
well, I know they talked earlier. They wanted us to mention about our favorite programs, and of course, Dr. Doctor, of course. But there's so many more. We talked about like Call to Communion, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I know Catholic Answers and Truth and Charity. I listen to all of those just because you never know what you're going to hear. And people's questions, they'll call in and have a question. You're like, I have that question. What's the answer?
Oh, yeah, the best question is always like, this may be a silly question, but no, those are always the best ones because they're not
silly.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're never silly. So, But you mentioned the youth doing a lot of good things, and you mentioned Steubenville. Tell us a little bit what's going on with the parish and your connection with Steubenville.
Well, one connection is one of our parishioners, a young man, Josh Butts, is a student there right now.
Oh, very good.
And so Franciscan University there in Steubenville. And it came up that it was brought to our attention that they do this retreat every summer for the youth. And we were talking to some of the kids. We got the information out, and we have funds in a youth group account that we hadn't been able to use the past couple of years, but also we needed funds, and we went to our Knights of Columbus, and I went to the Rosary Society, and I said, hey, would you be willing to sponsor a student to go to Steubenville? And of course, both of them said, yeah, of course, we'll both sponsor a couple of kids. We'll do it. And we have 5 students signed up so far to go, and Josh Butts, who's going to school there, he agreed to be one of the chaperones for us. Thank you, Josh. And Nancy Bean, who's one of our CCD teachers, as well as our confirmation 7th and 8th grade teacher and youth group leader, one of them. So they agreed to take the kids. So we're going to learn a lot about Steubenville, because those kids will know everything by the time they're done. He'll be able to walk them around the campus and find everything, and it'll be an amazing adventure this summer for them. So
what we already see from Josh is that he went to that university as a very committed young Christian, serving the Mass, doing this and that. But even now, it doesn't look like, you see other boys and girls going to college, and eventually it's as if they have forgotten how to make the sign of the cross. But I think that university is helping him grow more and more in his faith. And so our children going there will be of great help to them.
Oh, sure. It's amazing. We're seeing more and more. Our college kids is always an important time. I have 4 in college right now myself, and they're connecting more through different things like podcasts. And Steubenville does a lot of broadcasting through Catholic radio stations, and it gets the word out for those who can't go to Steubenville. It is a gem. We know several students there as well, and it's they don't come back worse for their faith generally. They're great. Yeah. But as we're coming into the bottom of the hour, we've got a few more pledges coming in. I want to thank Barb Harbor and Joe and Mary Nicolosi.
Thank you, Joe. He's right there.
Pledging.
We have
and
more
volunteering
people
your time here today,
in our
too.
Parish, yes.
But the pledges are coming in, and we're about halfway to our match pledge goal to get that bonus, so keep those coming in. We're just wrapping up the half hour, so we want to get a few more in, so we make sure we stay on schedule here. So give by calling or text to the word give to 260-436-9598. So we're going to take a break here for a minute at the bottom of the hour. We're going to come back and hear more about St. Patrick's Arcola.
Okay.
We are inundated with messages that label us, divide us, and say we're not good enough.
That people with whom we disagree are to be feared and rejected.
Too often, Catholic media is no better, coming across as rigid and judgy.
But God has revealed, and the Church teaches, that He loves every person, no matter where they are on life's journey. God doesn't want us to judge others. He wants us to love them and let them know they are cherished.
In the words of C.S. Lewis, next to Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament, our neighbor is the holiest object presented to our senses.
It's that truth that led Redeemer Radio to launch the Spoke Street Network. Catholic media committed to ensuring that every person belongs. And we could not have done it without the generosity of thousands of people who have given to our mission so others could hear the good news.
Imagine a world where we all looked out for each other, served each other, and affirmed the good in each other.
That's the kind of content Spoke Street is committed to finding and creating. Will you join us in funding and sharing Spoke Street?
With every dollar you give and every podcast you share, you are creating a more hopeful and joyful world for us and our children.
Join our mission and donate today, so together we can foster encounters with God so that every person can know their infinite worth.
I think that by supporting Redeemer Radio, what you can do, not everybody can go out and evangelize. Not everybody's called to it. Not everybody's good at it. Not everybody can go out and spread the faith in an explicit way. But if you support Redeemer Radio can do it for you. And so even when you're asleep or at work or not paying attention, Redeemer Radio is there inviting people to the faith and inviting them to a better life in Christ.
Help us amplify the voice of God. Pledge now by calling or texting GIVE to 260-436-9598.
This is Dr. David Anders, host of Called to Communion, heard here on Redeemer Radio weekdays from 2 to 3 p.m. On Called to Communion, we take calls from non-Catholics and answer questions about what's keeping them from becoming Catholic. Thank you for listening to and supporting Catholic programming like Called to Communion, heard right here on Redeemer Radio.
Giving during Sharathon doesn't have to come straight out of your checkbook. Our business office can help you initiate a stock transfer, a required minimum distribution from your IRA, and more. Everyone's circumstances are different, but don't let that stop you from joining our mission. Call now and we can help figure out the best way for you to be a part of sharing the truth and love of Jesus Christ through Redeemer Radio. Imagine the impact your donation can make in this community. Call 260-436-9598.
Joining our mission is even easier with our mobile app. Download Redeemer Radio's app to your Apple or Android device and click Give Now.
Help us continue encouraging others like you to live a vibrant life of faith. Call or text GIVE to the Holy Cross College text line at 260-436-9598 or donate online at redeemerradio.com. This is Redeemer Radio Sharathon. Thank you for listening to and supporting your local Catholic radio station.
Welcome back to Redeemer Radio Spring Sharathon. I'm here with St. Patrick Arcola, Fort Wayne. I'm Diana Parent and your host for this hour. And I get the privilege to get to sit here with Father Tad and Roberta Davis and Jim Batone as we're talking about different ways that Redeemer Radio affects our lives and also has been a blessing to St. Patrick Arcola. But more so, the blessing St. Patrick Arcola has been to our entire community. So such a beautiful, beautiful parish, as I mentioned earlier, if you were tuning in. Just it's such amazing outreach this parish has to that whole end of our county and community here in Allen County. And I know there's parishes all over the diocese, just like St. Patrick Arcola, that are doing wonderful work in their areas as well. The reach that Redeemer Radio has, we kind of forget how big of a territory is always listening in. It's a little intimidating if you stop to think about it.
It is, and we do want to thank Christopher Kiefer and Cheryl and Nick Sorgen for their pledges to help us get to our number there, Father. I think there's a message there for you, Father Tad.
Oh.
Says, good luck. Thanks for all you do, from Teresa Joy Burkett, who's also been a volunteer at Redeemer for many years.
Thank you, Therese.
Yes. And we did get the 10 pledges.
Yes, we have to 10. We have
we
five
need
more.
Five more, though. Gosh.
5 more to get our match.
Come on, people.
So keep those keep those coming, and we want to get 30, so we get a double match. So that's great. We'll keep the goal coming. So I really appreciate it. But so Jim, we talked a little bit about the nights, but the one thing, professionally we are a facilities company. So the people who are always the heart of the church are always the facilities team. And I know you were a long time big part of the maintenance and facilities team there at St. Patrick Arcola, but almost always one of the biggest hearts of every parish are the people on that team. So tell us a little bit about that in your ministry there.
Well, I'm first of all, I'm going to tell you I thoroughly enjoyed it. I am kind of sitting on the sidelines at the moment. I had a back operation, and I can't go bouncing around on a mower like I used to. So I still keep myself close. I'm only a phone call away in most instances, and I'll do whatever I can do in my current condition. But you sometimes, when you're in the maintenance, you get too involved, okay, and that was, I think, some of my issues. Because I was working here at the radio station, and I was working there at St. Pat's, and I have a weakness for a priest asking me a question because I can just never really say no, okay? So I get myself into situations where I'm going, how the heck do I get out of this? And I know I can't. So, but yeah, I've enjoyed every minute of it. I mean, you get to know more people. You get to know the inner workings of the parish. You sometimes learn more than you want to learn. And that's, that's something that you have to be aware. You have to be aware of. But in the years I've been there, it's just been a sheer pleasure for me to do the work. You just offer it up. I mean, it's just something that I like doing, and as I said, I don't say no very often.
Well, I tell you, the volunteer group at St. Pat's Arcola is loyal, and it's a long list with a deep bench. A lot of benevolent parishioners there that do a lot for not only their parish but the diocese. And like you said, you're a longtime supporter of Redeemer Radio and many other things.
Just let me say, I had a very good teacher. Okay, Gus Tryon, who was
our saint in heaven. Right?
He was he's our saint in heaven. I worked with Gus for 8 years, and if you want to talk about dedication, I can't even hold a candle to this guy. So, unfortunately, Gus passed 4 years ago, I think it was.
2017.
Yeah.
Almost 5. Yeah, almost 5.
And so he was my teacher, and I try to pattern myself after him, but I know it's just a goal. I don't know that I'll ever get there. But yeah, it's been fun.
Wow, those are big words, but it's probably well earned. I have no doubt. But wonderful people like us and yourself that give so much, and I'm sure, Jim, there's someone that's saying the same about you as well. But
we have a lot of anonymous people that don't even like to be talked about or said anything, but they come to the plate for our parish. They just are there doing things, and you wouldn't know it because they quietly are doing it. Either Father asked them, or Patty, our parish office manager, asked them, or Jim asked them, and people just come to the plate and do what they can to help, which is awesome.
Somebody asked me about the fish fry. He says, well, where do I sign up to help? I go, sign up.
Show up.
Show up. We don't. You're
not gonna be turned away.
Your name's not on a list. It doesn't have to be on a list for you to show up.
We like some on the list, but we like them just to show.
And that's just the way it happens at St. Pat's. So you just put the word out, and people seem to show up, and the work gets done.
Well, and thanks to Nancy Duffy and Sue and Jerry Fallbush, we've got 3 more pledges to get to our match. That's awesome.
And we often have anonymous gifts given in honor of parishes and priests and, loyal parishioners like Gus or Jim. We accept those as well. We love to honor people as well. So if you have any honoring gifts you'd like to give, please call those in. You don't have to use your personal name. We just like to thank you who give gifts, but think in advance for those who always give anonymously. We really appreciate you, and you're the heart and the soul of every parish. So thanks so much for that.
And I would like to remind the parishioners that you remember the weekend when I was announcing this program of today, I kept on looking into your eyes, and I remember your eyes were promising and hopeful, and the smile showed that you're going to give something today. So I remind you, please.
Yes, absolutely. So, and plus, there's bragging rights among the priests of who gets to hit their goals. So Father Tad has got to represent. So far, everyone's hit their goals so far. So St. Patrick Arcola has got to bring it. So we look forward to your pledges. They always follow through, those little parishioners at St. Pat's. So
well, and we've got to remind them how to give it. Otherwise, they won't remember. Now they call or text GIVE, GIVE, to 260-436-9598. Go on to RedeemerRadio.com or the Redeemer Radio app, and you can pledge this hour. It's really simple. Just go on there and do it, or just, like I said, call in. There's people here waiting, and the phones aren't busy, so they could just call the phone number if they don't want to do anything on the internet.
That's right. So I love the all different ways that parishes come up to just reach the community and different things. But I hear in April you've got a fun event coming up, the Blessing of the Bikes. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we've had this tradition for almost
Over 30
1988
years.
or somewhere in that area that we've had a bike blessing. Jerry Gordon and Rose, I don't know Rose's last name, but
From our parish, yeah.
Okay, and she would they would organize a bike blessing. It started out with like 20, 25 people, and we've had weekends where we had pretty close to like 1,600 motorcycles.
Wow!
In our parking lot,
And Father had to bless them all. His arm was so tired.
He blesses them all individually, and so if you've ever been to Arcola and you've been to our parking lot, 1,600 bikes takes up more than our parking lot. It takes up. In fact, they're parked down the Arcola Road, waiting to get in line to get blessed.
Remember,
by
they
Father.
used to use like a golf cart to go around, and then we finally changed it and said, no, you all need to come to Father.
Father
and they
stands
finally
still.
rode in front of Father, so it was easier for him not to have to try to get around all these people and all these bikes.
Yeah, for me, I didn't see the golf cart. I walked.
Yes, you had
the
to
first
walk.
time. But then I thought we should do a ride through. So these guys come with their bikes before me and then bless. They like it. They love it.
What time is it, Father? It's April 30th, you said?
Yeah, this time we shall begin at noon.
At noon.
We have
April
always
30th.
begun at 1, but this time we want to begin at noon.
And I know we always do like a fundraiser. We have food and stuff because that sponsors the youth group.
Yes.
The money,
Yes.
they donate, and people, we have coffee and hot chocolate and hot dogs and different items so they can be there and visit with their friends ahead of time before the blessing.
Yeah, so all our bikers from around Ohio, Michigan, all over, around they come, and you are most welcome again on the last Saturday of April, and that will be April 30th. Usually you come early, come and enjoy the atmosphere of St. Patrick's and eat something to support our youth, and then at noon we begin the real work.
So those kind of ministries are so amazing to me. Just small parishes that you're reaching and touching souls that may never ever have experienced the Catholic faith in such a positive way, and you just never know what that little seed plants. Just like Redeemer Radio plants so many seeds, but you just never know what touches them. And I would say, as a convert, there's probably a lot of those times of touching a parish's small parishes. Eggy with a small parish like yours that used to touch my heart regularly. They have an hour coming up soon, but the fish fries that they would do, and of course
don't forget
the chicken
our fish
dinners
fry.
and the chicken dinners, of course. But all those things that you guys do and go above and beyond the weekly mass is so important. But to call it an honor, St. Pat's Arcola, you don't need to be a parishioner of St. Pat's Arcola to appreciate these beautiful parishes. So we appreciate your support for the parish, but also all of those that used to be alum of the parish. We invite them to come in and honor the parish as well by making a pledge today, by texting or calling the word GIVE to 260-436-9598.
Yeah, because the phones are quiet. I don't hear anything ringing. Do you hear anything ringing? I don't.
It's
hear
not ringing, but they're coming in a lot of different ways. I hear buzzing.
I hope they're coming the other way. They're buzzing online and doing all that and getting in here. But you're right. And with the fish fry that we do have March 25th, we have another drive by. I don't know. We're going to have to keep some numbers on that. But like I said, we did 1,500 pounds of fish the week before. And we have another 1,500 on March 25th from 4 to 7. We do a drive-by fish fry. And we usually run out. If you wait till 7, you might not get any fish. It may be gone.
They ran out early this year.
Yes.
The first one last weekend.
Yeah. And we did the 2 drive-by because, we really the time we plan it, they planned this months ago. We didn't know if we could do a sit-down dinner, so we didn't. They, the committee said, hey, we better stick with drive-through. But everybody's like, when are we going to come back and have a sit-down dinner? We want to come back and have a sit-down dinner. So hopefully next year we can do that.
So we need a couple more pledges to hit our match. We're so close. Just keep them coming in to support St. Patrick Arcola. And it's St. Patrick's Day, so we also have to honor St. Pat's. So instead of having a green beer, maybe in addition to having a green beer today,
You can give some money.
Yeah, you can
afford
text.
one
You
of
text
those,
a little pledge. in.
Green beer is Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday night. This Saturday we'll have
Well,
green beer.
yeah. You know, and I know there's a lot of people
So
online.
pledge, because we'll have the beer for it.
You'll
No,
have-
just
yeah.
kidding.
We know there's a lot of people online right now. They got 15 more minutes to make their March Madness picks.
Oh,
So
we
while
need-
they're on there, they
oh.
can also just go to Redeemer.com.
We need 2 more pledges, though, to get that extra
make their
250.
gift. So lots going on today. A lot of people that have a lot of reasons they could bless and touch in too. So, but thanks again for those anonymous gifts that come in. We really appreciate you as well.
Jim, didn't you want to talk about Solanus Casey? I thought you said.
Yeah, we were going to slip that in here, but real quick. About 5 years ago, there was a group of us that started what we've named ourselves as Praying with Father Solanus, and what we want to do is just get people out there become familiar with Blessed Father Solanus, because very shortly we expect him to become a saint. And so we're just trying to get people out there to get to know Father Solanus. And so what we're doing every month, the third Saturday of every month, we're having a Mass down at St. Felix, which, if anybody has ever been there before, it's been refurbished thanks to the Tittmans. Beautifully done. And it's a place where a saint that was, I mean, how often do you have a saint that lived within 20 miles of you? You know, to me, it's a very special place. When you go and you have Mass at an altar where Father Solanus actually fell asleep at night at the altar, and you sit there and just think how dedicated of a person he was and what a good person he was. And so we just want to get the name of Father Solanus out there. We're trying to very shortly raise funds for a rosary garden, Blessed Father Solanus Rosary Garden. And there used to be a stations in the area that were looking to put a rosary garden in. And Father Solanus always said, pray the rosary. Read the Bible, pray the rosary. And so with that, we're giving the people the opportunity to be able to pray the rosary outside, meditate a little bit. And so, if you're ever available on a Saturday afternoon, third Saturday of every month, please come down to St. Felix Catholic Center in Huntington. And if there's no retreats, we give full tours. You get to go up and see Father Solanus's room. It's been undisturbed. If you look in there, there's a phone in there. He was the only one. He was a communicator to the outside. So, and he answered the door. They called him the doorkeeper. So he was either at the door or answering phones. And so, very special person. And he's just helped so many people. And,
Did you say that was at 1 p.m.?
1 p.m. 1 p.m.
third
for the Mass.
Saturday?
Rosary is at 12:30, and the Mass is at 1. And so again, it's another one of those things where I have trouble saying no, and so I'm deep into praying with Father Solanus also.
Well, that's so wonderful. Again, so many ways that the St. Pat's parishioners are making just a bigger impact in all our area, in addition to Redeemer Radio. And gosh, we just thank you. And Father Tad, the Holy Spirit is pretty alive out there, but we have 10 minutes to wrap it up and to hit our gold pledges. So anyone who is from St. Pat's or as an alum of St. Pat's, we encourage you to text or call in to 436-9598 and make your pledge. But Father Tad, I just have to ask, I mean, you walk in your parish and you could just feel the Holy Spirit. As I mentioned, I'm blessed to visit you on occasion, and that is such a special place. But tell us how your journey has been and how you got to St. Pat's. That's a long story to get in a few minutes between pledges, but
Thank you. I always say there is the God's plan and the physical plan, but above all, it is the God's plan. Somehow I came in the United States in 2009, and Bishop Darcy, God rest his soul in peace,
God bless him,
assigned me to Calvary, Indiana, St. Mary of the Lake, and I was also chaplain of the military academy there. And after 4 years, Bishop Kevin Rhodes called me and said, I want you to be near me. And indeed, Arcola is close to the diocese. And thus I came to Arcola, and a very beautiful place. And I love the people, very humble people.
Very humble farming
humble
roots,
people.
that just very humble.
So that is how I came to St. Patrick.
Very good.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you remind me that how big our diocese is and how big the listenership is here at Redeemer Radio. That there's so many parishes that need to be covered by our bishop, and so many placements that need to be filled. That's another beautiful church there in Culver that we know. So we know those parishioners should be calling in too to support Father Tad.
Yes,
as
have
well.
many good friends there.
Yes, I bet.
True.
That's a great place to be a priest in the summertime, especially with the lake and all the fun activities there.
Yeah, and now in the middle of gardens.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Yeah.
So you have the bike rally. Do you have a tractor blessing? Arcola is known for their tractor
the
pole.
tractor pole. Yes,
The
in
tractor
July.
for July, but in most cases I'm out for my vacation. I only attended it once, and somehow it's more of the community thing. And I remember when I went there, I was not asked even to lead a prayer. But next time I'll push in if I'm around and say, hey, let's first pray. But it's another wonderful activity that takes place there.
Oh, absolutely. And all of it happens in the shadow of the cross of St. Pat's. And you just never know what that little eclipse of the cross shadow does for people in the Holy Spirit. We need only one more pledge.
Oh, come on, people.
To get our
Let's
to
go.
get our
Let's
match
go.
here for St. Pat's. The people have been so generous. We really appreciate it. And thanks to Patrick and Patricia Denahan.
Thank you, Patty. Yes.
That's
Pat
talk about
and Patty. Hey,
it's St. Patrick's Day. I mean, wait,
at
that's
St. Pat's.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of patties.
That's a very Irish gift right there. We really appreciate it.
And we do have the fire department right there, the Arcola Volunteer Fire Department. Many are members of our parish.
Yes.
And we help them whenever we can with donations for different things. I know our knights do that they assist them when they can. But we really thank our Arcola Fire Department volunteers. They're always there for us.
So, we are in the middle of Lent here, and there's so many ways to give, and maybe this is a good Lenten opportunity. Father Tad, would you like to speak on that?
Yeah, this is a beautiful time for us. We can't, this program on St. Patrick's Day come during Lent. A wonderful time for us to be renewed, to look for Jesus, and to be strengthened. And so I urge as many people to listen to Redeemer Radio. There are many programs that will animate us to strengthen us during these 40 days, our desert time. And also I encourage again the parishioner of St. Patrick to think more of also attending more masses. And I'm not tired of confessions. Yeah.
Yeah, because Father hears our confessions before the Saturday Mass, so that's good.
Yeah. You want the confessional busy, right?
Yeah, and I'm not tired. It's a time, to use the confession as much as we can. It's a time to be near Christ, especially through the Eucharist. That's the only way we can journey through this Lent. The other Sunday we heard about the temptations. How do we, overcome these temptations that Jesus found in the desert? And then, these sacraments will be of paramount importance. I'm happy to see many people come, for weekday masses. But, I encourage that. It's a special time for us to be renewed and also to remember what we went through. 2 years back, we couldn't, do this the way we are supposed to do it. Maybe on personal basis, yes. But now we have the opportunity.
Yes. We're blessed to be back together for sure. But it was a tough time. Families out of the habit and having to get back into the habit. So we need to get to our pledge. But it looks like we just hit our match. We love it. Norma Milleberg, thanks so much. I'm hearing bells going off in the background. But we still have more time here to keep giving in honor of St. Pat's Arcola.
Just a reminder, because this is the way I do it. Required minimum distributions, from your 401s and your IRAs. That's a way of giving too. So just be aware. It doesn't have to be on Redeemer.com or on the app or a phone call. You can do through required minimum distributions, and it's tax beneficial beneficial for you. So please consider that.
Mr. and Mrs. John
Lucius
pledged, and Rose Savine
Yes, thank you so much.
you.
Wow, that is wonderful. We really, really appreciate their support, and then they're probably more trickling in, and we're going to keep watching for those as well. But as Jim mentioned, there's a lot of different ways to give to Redeemer Radio. The Sharathon's a special time, but they need help all year round. They do a lot of good work, as does St. Pat's Arcola. But keep those gifts coming in, and we'll be getting you your T-shirts. If you sponsor more than an hour of Redeemer Radio, the Share the Good T-shirts, and you can wear those proudly. And the cool thing about them is they're not plastered with the name Redeemer Radio, but those who know what they mean know what they mean. Share the good, and you, I'm sure, know a lot of people will be wearing them with much pride. So Father Pat, Father Pat.
Yeah.
You are Father Pat today.
Today
That's
you're
an
Father
honor,
Pat.
right?
Right on.
Right.
Thank you.
Father Ted, could you wrap out our hour with a final thought and maybe a blessing for the radio station?
Thank you for hosting us. And we love Redeemer Radio. And I'm so grateful to our parishioners and friends who have pledged so much, the best they can. And I'm sure more pledges will come. They don't all have to come during this program. And for the work you do, may God bless you. And I say good Lenten time to everyone in our diocese and over. And the Easter coming. Many blessings. Thank you so much, Diane.
Thank you, Father Tad and Jim and Roberta. For your time today. It's been fun, and so what a wonderful time to celebrate your parish.
Thank
So
you.
with that, we're going to take a break at the top of the hour. Next hour, we have St. John the Baptist, Fort Wayne. Will be here to share about their parish and to draw more pledges.
You're listening to Sharathon on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM WRDF, Columbia City, Fort Wayne, 95.7 FM WRDI, Napanee, Michiana, and streaming on the Redeemer Radio app. Stay tuned to your listener-supported local Catholic radio station.